Hey, I want to talk. I don't want to talk about fish. I don't want to talk about aquariums. I don't want to talk about myself. I want to talk about you. And the reason for this video has sort of been mounting every single day. Seems like there's a new story. It seems like things are going on in this world, in this community, that are sort of outside of our control. There's a lot of negativity that goes around, and I think in large part it's because people have lost their way. And instead of focusing on the negative, because it seems like every day there's a new negative thing to talk about, I wanted to focus on the positive. I wanted to focus on you and how you can be a better person. And I want to share sort of my recipe for success. This is something that has helped me in my life, and hopefully talking about it today will help you focus on your life and how you can be a better person and contribute more to society instead of taking away from it. So essentially what we're looking at is something that's very simple but very easy to screw up. And it's something that takes a lot of work. It takes an entire lifetime, I feel like, to get this right. And the sooner you can start focusing on it and acting towards it, the sooner you're going to be happy. And I feel like a lot of the negativity that goes around, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's in the community or whether it's in the world, a lot of negativity happens because people are focused on other people instead of focusing on themselves. How can you be a better person? How can you get to the center of these three circles and be the best person that you possibly can be? So what I wanted to do was talk about this diagram and how you can work towards each thing, how you can identify all of these things, and how you can sort of move towards the middle. All right, everyone knows that there is hopefully a dream job out there for them. It's sort of a notion that if you work hard enough, if you work in the right direction, eventually you will get somewhere that you deserve to be. And in large part, that doesn't happen unless you're willing to put in the work. And there's sort of three categories which will land you in your ideal role as a person, as a business person, and just in general in life. So let's talk about these three circles, what they mean to me, and what they might mean to you, and how you can sort of identify them and work on each one individually and collectively. So at the top we have passion. Passion, love. This is the thing that drives you. It is the thing that keeps you up at night. It is the thing that you can't stop thinking about. It's the thing that you obsess over. And for some people, they're just not that passionate about things. And, you know, they may be interested in a lot of things, but they may not be truly, truly passionate about one thing. And I think the sooner you can find that passion, what you are really interested in, what you want to devote your life to, the better. And that could be a lot of things. For me, my passion sort of comes from aquariums and fish keeping and seeing other people being successful at fish keeping. And I realized this probably about 10 years ago, and I have been on a path for the last 10 years to sort of develop this passion. And I came about it because I realized that when I set up an aquarium, I was most interested in how it was set up, the best way to set it up. How can I create things which make it better? How can I create a habitat which is optimal or ideal for fish breeding? How can I create a system of aquariums which are tied together and operate as one and do it in the best way possible? How can I create, how can I discover, how can I find the products and the tools that will make myself successful, and how can I share that information with other people through video so that they can be successful as well. That's what I'm passionate about. It's what drives me. It's what makes me turn on the video camera and talk to you folks, even if I'm not sure if people are listening. Very, very important to find your passion. And it doesn't matter what it is. It may be fish related if you're watching this video. It may not be. But it's important to know what you love and to focus on that as soon as possible and work on that and define it and understand what it is. It's what you like spending your time on. You know, I found myself going to fish conventions, to fish auctions on the weekends because I wanted to see what other people were breeding for fish. I wanted to hear stories from other people that were successful. You know, I spent time on fish forums, reading threads. I've spent time watching other people's videos to see what they've done. Whenever I go to someone's house with a fish room, I'm not interested in looking at the fish themselves. I'm interested in looking at how the tanks are plumbed together and how the whole system works, and if they've done something that is slightly better than the way that I've done things. Learning from people, sharing what I've learned, that is passion. And it's something that should convey, I feel like, to other people. Other people should know that you're passionate about something, because if they don't, you're probably not. All right, that covers passion. Let's talk about skills and talents. This is the thing that sometimes holds people back. You can be very passionate about something, but you also need to have a set of skills or talents. And this is something that you develop your entire life, from school and learning and education, to the things that you read, to the things that you do, to the experiences that you have, to the people you surround yourself with, to everything that sort of culminates in your life's experience and knowledge and wisdom. All of that ties into your skills and talents. And it's very important this day and age to be really, really good at one thing. If you're kind of okay at a whole bunch of different things, you know, you may be okay. You know, you'll find a job, but it may not be the thing that you love. In order to be really successful, you need to be really, really good at something. And in my case, for the last 10 years, I've devoted a large part of my skills and my talents and professional growth to the field of marketing. I like to understand audiences. I like to understand what drives them, what's important to them, what they're looking for, and how to appeal to that interest with content, with products, with services. That, in a nutshell, is what marketing is all about. And I've done that professionally for the last 10 years. And so that is a very deep and very defined set of skills. It's everything from writing blogs to creating videos to doing a market analysis to understanding customers and their behaviors and a whole bunch of other things. All of that is super important. And for me, that is my skill. That is my talent. That is what I'm good at. And that is something that is marketable as a person, right? It's what you would put on your resume. It's what you are always working towards in life professionally. That's what belongs in that bubble. And then the third thing over here is market need. If you are going to belong somewhere, if you are going to have a role, if you're going to find satisfaction in life, a large part of that is driven by the fact that we need jobs, we need to make money, we need to be useful to other people. And in order for that to happen, there needs to be a market need behind what it is you're all about and what you're trying to accomplish. As a person, as a business, if there isn't a market need for what you do, then you are going to be perpetually the starving artist, right? You're going to be someone with a vision, someone with a passion that no one else shares and no one else values. And so it's extremely important that whatever you're doing in life is important to other people. It has to be something that they can't do themselves because they're not good enough at it. You're better at it than they are, and that's why they need you. They need your product, they need your service, they need your skills, they need your talents, they need your time in order to get something done in their life that they don't have the expertise or the time to tackle themselves. And if you can balance all three of these things and continuously work towards all three of these things, you will be very, very successful and very, very satisfied in life. And in doing so, I think you will probably stop worrying about other people, stop worrying about what other people are doing, whether it's personally, whether it's in a community of people, whether it's as competition for your business. It doesn't matter, because if you're focused on someone else, it means that you're not focused on yourself and you're not growing towards being that best person in the middle of that circle. And a lot of people score 2 out of 3 on this diagram, and it sort of lands you in one of these red zones here. And these things are probably very familiar to you. If you have a real passion for something and you have the skills to back it up, it makes a great hobby, right? But if there's no market need for it, then no one's going to buy it. And so it's a hobby, right? It's interesting to you, you're really good at it, but no one wants to buy it, so it's a hobby. Down on the bottom, if you are really, really good at something, if you've got all of the skills and there's a market need for something, there's a desire for it, that is where most people are today, and that's called a job. If you're really good at something and someone needs it, it's a job. But what often happens in life is you don't have a passion for the thing that you're doing. And so, in my opinion, if you just call it a job, then you're probably not passionate about it. It's not your dream job. It's not your dream role. You may not be completely fulfilled doing the thing that you're doing. And for most people, if you're spending 8 hours a day doing something you're not passionate about, it leads you to be a very unhappy person. And I think that's what makes people jealous. I think that's what makes people act out. It's what makes people frustrated, and it makes people focus on others instead of themselves. But this is all within your control to fix. It's just a matter of working on the circle that you're lacking. And if you can do that, then I think you'll be a much happier person. And over here we have dreams. So if you're very passionate about something, if there's a market need for it, meaning there's money and people actively doing this thing, but you're not doing it, you may call it a dream. You might say, oh yeah, one day I would love to do this, or I would love to do that. But if you don't have the skills, if you don't have the talents to do it, then you'll never get there. And so that's why you need to continuously work on yourself in order to make that dream a reality. Because that dream isn't going to happen if you don't make it happen. And so that's where, if this is what you want to do, you need to develop the skills so that you can get to the center of that circle. So that's just a really quick framework for for how I like to think about life and fulfillment and happiness and success and all things. And for me, I don't like to focus on other people. I don't like to focus on all of the negativity that's going on in the world, in the communities. I like to focus on myself and how can I make myself better? How can I, do things that other people can't do, which make me a better person and differentiates me from others. If you can do that, I think you'd be a lot more fulfilled, and I think everyone would lead a more happy life. So anyways, guys, that's my thought on life. It was a little bit of a rant, but hopefully you learned something. Hopefully it inspired you to be a better person, to grow in one of those categories, and to lead yourself down a path of self-fulfillment and working on yourself in order to get to where you want to be. Again, it's not going to happen by itself. No one is going to hand any of that to you. It's something you have to go through life and figure out for yourself. And if you're able to balance all of those three things, eventually you will get there. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it's a lot harder, but eventually you'll get there. So keep working on yourself. Stop worrying about other people. Hopefully everyone can hug it out, and everyone can lead a more fulfilling life. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.